Welcome. First time here, back to 5e stuff. Oh, wonderful.
Nice, awesome.
Also, happy vernal equinox. Oh, hi, Diggs. Wait, is that me? I can hear myself coming
Cool.
from somewhere.
Yeah, that's awesome, Gilbert. Thank you for the support. How did you find us? Was it Facebook ads, or did you hear about us other places? And have you played much Celtic stuff before? Are you super into Celtic stuff, or do you want to learn more? That kind of thing.
I assume he's into Celtic. There.
Yeah, I'm going to say, Gilbert the Druid is a pretty telling name. When I saw you in the chat, I got pretty excited, I must admit. Yeah.
You're all about that mistletoe life and the oak tree life.
Yeah,
I got you. Good morning, Zilphia. How are you?
Zilphia.
Yeah. One of us is Kurt, one of us is Darren. It's up to you to guess who's who. Oh wait, we have name tags.
Yeah, we have name tags.
Yeah. How was your week, Darren? How's it been? We're gonna get the formalities out of the way.
You know what? It's always hard for me to say because we stream on Thursday. I always forget what happens on Thursday and Friday, and then the weekend, and then Monday and Tuesday. I don't know. It just seems to always go by in a blur. So what's happened this week? I think good stuff, but I honestly can't remember. I'd have to check my diary. Yeah.
It's going fast because you're getting older.
Oh, maybe, yeah. I can't complain, so that probably means it's been a good week, really.
Yeah, this last week, it felt like a minute because I'm an old man. Just running by. That's just, it's fine. It is what it is. Actually, I just came back from a dinner, and it was good, but the food was a little bit expensive, so I'm still hungry, so I'm eating nuts and cookies.
I see. So I'd rather yeah, I get it.
Again, it was good, but I was like, oh man, if I get another plate of food, it's like another 5. Nah, that's fine. We'll just go home.
Yeah. All right.
And run back for the stream.
And
I'm a little bit late.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're a little late because me and Chrissy, we hopped on the wrong direction. So we were on the train, and then we realized after 2 stops that we were going in the wrong direction. So that's why we're a little bit late. Gerbo doesn't recall. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't recall where I heard about you, but yeah, I'm into Celtic and other mythologies. Awesome. Via gaming, reading, fantasy, and non-fiction. Perfect. Well, then you're just like us, but then we went a step further and started making stuff because it was so cool.
But what do you like? What kind of gaming? What are you playing? That's an important question.
Yeah.
Well, what are you reading or what are you playing? What are you reading and what are you playing, Darren?
Gilbert says, old man, you really don't want to know when I was born. Well, the winky face now makes me want to know when you were born. Also, where are you based? Are you in the UK or are you in the Americas or somewhere else?
Don't dox yourself, though.
Yeah. So I'm from the UK and Kurt's from the Americas, but living in Japan, right, Kurt?
That's right. I'd be very surprised if Gerbo's older than me. I don't know. I feel like I'm the old man in the room every room I walk into now.
Nah.
But I don't look it. I do every time.
There you go. You just got destroyed, fam. You just got destroyed, bro.
No, we're pretty close. We're pretty close though, right?
Really?
We're less than.
Aren't you 80s?
Yeah, I was born. Yeah, I'm 1984. I was born in 1984.
So it's the whole 10 years, man. You just got decked.
No, 9 years, right? That's how math works.
Yeah. Nice, Gilbert. That's awesome. Well, thanks for
however math works. Look at you.
Okay, cool.
Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Welcome, girl. In gaming stuff.
Oh yeah.
I've been doing research, and I've been reading a lot of old Dragon magazine and articles and DD articles to look at some old Celtic stuff, but also for fun because I like those magazines. And I'm reading a lot of magazines from like 1973, 1974, and I love that shit, man. I love old D&D content. I love old gaming content. It's the best.
Yeah.
Zilphia says, they are born in 84. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club, Zilphia. We're in the... Yeah. You remember the 80s.
Isn't your big day tomorrow, Zilphia? Or it's soon, right? Is it tomorrow?
Is that true? Wait, the big day being the big day?
Yeah, I think it's tomorrow, but my memory's terrible. It is tomorrow. Yeah, I got it right. Cool, awesome.
Hey! Well, we'll let you describe what that is. It's not our place to put your personal business on stream. But if you want to talk about it, we encourage it because we're happy. We're happy, right? We're happy for you.
Oh no, not that big day, Gerbo. It's
not that kind of.
This is a union.
That kind of. Yeah. Yeah. We're excited for you.
Yeah.
Getting married. Oh man, that's exciting. Yeah, man, that's more interesting than anything we have going on this week.
That's true.
I'll ask you questions about what you got going on.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for next stream now because we get to find out how it went. And hopefully,
that's true.
It's good.
Yeah. We wish you wonderful time tomorrow with your friends and family. Big or small ceremony, whichever it may be. I just imagine that it's going to be outdoors. I don't know if that was something, but that was was settled or she told us. But I just imagine Zilphia being someone that would get married outdoors.
I just
how I
moved
see
your
it.
face by accident. I didn't mean to do that. I
Okay.
just dragged you. Clicked and dragged you. Okay. Then I kind of want to get stuck into it now. There's a bunch of things I want to tackle today.
Let's do it.
And we're not doing a lore stream. We're doing a work stream today, which has been a while because we've been covering all the faction locations in all the previous streams.
Doing some review. Now, the thing about this work stream is that Darren has prepared some stuff. Is that right, Darren?
Yes.
And I have done I know very little about what's coming on stream right now, so that's gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
I'm going in blind.
Yeah, but first
like-
I want to
like
show off
artwork.
some artwork. So let's screen share. So it's a small courthouse, yeah, for tomorrow, and big outdoor hive in the summer. That's awesome. That's exactly the way to do it, I think. I don't know if that's become like a more modern trend, but that's what I did, and I've heard other people do the same thing, and I think it works. Yeah.
Yeah, I respect that.
Okay.
Probably do similar.
Artwork. What artwork do I want to show you guys? Okay, first I want to show you the Everfather, god of justice and community, because his artwork literally just came in last night and it's amazing. Do I have it here? Yes, I do. Look at this.
Didn't we see the work in progress before?
Yeah, you did. Actually, I've already shown it. I should have done the work in progress. I should have done the lead up, but it's too late. It's too late. I've already unveiled
the
it.
Cloudy boy.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck it. Wait. We didn't watch that on stream. Well, in any case, it looks great. Very cool. So he has a little. He has like a shoulder cannon. That's a volcano.
Yeah, this is so. I think I mentioned this last stream, but I'll just recap again. Like, where's the original sketches? Part of the brief was based on previous artwork. So this is artwork we made for the original Legends of Avallen book in 2021. And my design for the Everfather was to be like the traditional patriarchal god who's usually associated with thunder and storms, like Thor in Norse mythology and Zeus in Greek mythology. So I wanted that element to be there, but I also wanted to tie him to the mountain. I forget exactly why that was. I think because he was tied to the Pendrite clan in the Highlands. So I wanted to give him this mountain aesthetic, and it's like this stoic rock-like form that's like never changing and just always there, like a solid foundation for which the Valak base themselves on. And so then it became this natural thing of like, oh, if he's like a giant mountain, well then his beard and his hair could be the clouds above the mountain, right? That's awesome. So I really like that idea. And then because he's rock and crafting, that ties into like minerals and gold and that kind of thing. So that kind of all went together nicely as this like rock mountain package of gold, clouds, thunder. And then that's also based on some Celtic gods as well. And then we had these dual sides to them in the original illustrations, where you had like the peaceful side and then the aggressive side. And then it was rock and molten and steaming vents and that kind of thing. And you can see the thunderstorm coming out of his beard, which is awesome. But for these new illustrations, I only wanted one illustration. I didn't want a good side and a bad side. So I had to kind of meld those ideas together. And so I told Raphael, I was like, hey, he has this kind of burning, molten aspect to him, but I want it to be not the main feature. Show him as a calm, stoic leader of Avallen. And then I told him about like the molten core idea, and then he came up with this like toga kind of slash is that the word? Sash design, where the molten is like looks like it's part of his clothing, as it were. And that was completely his idea, and I was like, that's awesome. Also having like the volcano on his shoulder just looks cool, and it shows like the scale of him as well really well. So it's just a genius idea on his part. So then we immediately latched onto that concept. And then where's the work in progress? Work in progress. And then he sent us a bunch of poses, right? And we just liked the sitting in like the mountain throne, which is also great as well, because there's a legend about a location in Wales, and it's called the Throne. It's like a mountain. It's called the Throne. It's said to be the giant's throne, where a giant king once sat. And Raphael, I don't think he knew that, but he just made a throne out of a mountain, and I didn't tell him. I still haven't told him. I should tell him actually that it's perfect, but it's perfect for that reason. And so then we end up with the final version. and I just love the cloud hair from the original. Then the sash design is just genius. The mountain, he did the whole hammer thing. I just let him run with that. And then the moss to show that he's, constant. Moss doesn't grow in something that's moving, right? It's slow. So yeah, it's just awesome. And then obviously he added the Drake talk on him as well to show his conquering of the dragons, right?
So we assume that he chooses in the other world to be a giant, to be a huge guy.
I don't know if it's chooses. I think we've had this discussion before. I think we've come to the understanding that the forms of the Ever Ones are shaped by the belief of...
By the belief.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. So
over thousands of years, right? It's something that's grown over time. Yeah.
So it's believed that he's a massive guy, massive boy.
How big he actually is, I'm not sure. I don't think a house is going to be as big as his toe. I think that's a bit too silly. Although I did speak to Jasmine like it. He was like, make him as big as possible. And I was like, I don't know. I feel like that's to be some kind of reasonable scale to him. So...
Yeah. I mean, it is, when you get into spacey, wacy, wimey, timey stuff, he's like both big and can, I mean, yeah, it'll be the belief of him, but you gotta imagine that there's some flexibility in the
he could probably appear in different forms, right? Some of them are massive and some of them are smaller. Maybe it depends on where he is in the other world and his dominion, that kind of thing. Right, now I want to see what chat said because I've been rambling for ages. Kirk, can you read what chat said for me?
Chat has said that it's awesome. JZ says very cool. Welcome to the chat room. Gerbil the Druid says they love the style and feel a very similar feel to the recent work done for RuneQuest. Is that are they releasing a new book for RuneQuest? I didn't know there was a new edition coming out. And Diggs said it's cool. This is her favorite / most stressful part of the show.
Why? Because you're worried I'm going to show your work, or is it because you don't want to compare yourself to others, kind of thing?
Maybe a little bit of both. I think she likes it because she loves seeing everyone's art.
Yeah.
But
everyone's so
she's
good.
also
Okay.
Everyone's so good, and
So that's okay. You're so good too. Right. Live and well at the moment. Yeah, I've heard. I don't actually have too much art to show today. Then the other one I want to show is the Penbythe spread. Now, for those not in the know, I think, again, I showed the work... I've done it again, haven't I? I showed the work in progress last week, but I should just do it again, right? I should go from the sketch and go forward. That's fun, right? Here's the original sketch. And for those that don't know, these illustrations are supposed to show two sides to a clan and the locations. And in the book, the artwork will actually be split up. You'll see the left side in one place and the right side in another place. But it's important to me that they're together because the tarot cards that we're making will be panoramas. So in the tarot cards, these will be joined together between 3 cards. And the left side shows Dinisicoid, the city amongst the trees in the Penbythe territory, and the side on the right shows an ambush between some Penbythe tribe members and a trade caravan, which is a part of their life. And then the artist added some colours, artist being Martin... Oh god, I forget his last name. Paz Romano, I think. But we'll just call him Martin. And he sent this back, and this works for a forest. But I said I think it's a bit too dark and a bit too dreary. I want the Penbythe lands to be full of life and light and just energy and life. And so then he sent a version in. I said, can you try a yellows colour scheme instead? And then we went to here. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's so much better. Like seeing the difference between the dark blues and the yellows just brings the forest to life. And then that is the final version here. So the Penbythe, I think the way I'm writing this at the moment is that these look like hollowed out trees, but I think what they're going to be is actually multiple trees kind of like grown together into like a twisting fashion to make a space inside them where the people live. And have buildings and
stuff. They have the technology. They have the technology that the original Celts did not have.
Yeah.
So then from that point of view, you're sort of getting inspired by the sort of penchant for knitting and knotwork.
Yes.
Like weaving together, right? So yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
No, it's very pretty. I think the chat agrees. We had some comments that Oh well, first of all, we have first time chatter. Pew pew pew.
Pew, pew,
We have
pew.
two first time chatters
So
today.
yeah.
Gerbil the Druid and OG Majestic Wolf.
OG Majestic Wolf. That's a great name.
Yeah, you love D&D writing stories and drawing. Welcome. And Gerbil says the drawing's gorgeous, which we agree with. And yeah, please feel at home to nerd out and talk about art. We're just here also talking about drawings and stories and making stories and stuff for our game Legends of Avallen, which we're writing a book for, which got funded back in December. So now we're making stuff for it. Yeah, this turned out really well. I'm really happy with this.
Nice.
Cool. Point about the barrel. The barrel is a very new invention in Avallen, if you guys know that.
It's the hot stuff. It's the hot new thing. Guys, have you heard about barrels? Yeah.
A barrel is like the equivalent of like an SSD drive.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man,
Yeah.
and all the stuff you can store in this. Most likely wine. Although that is the thing too, right? Like, because it's make sure when we have the opportunities to show, what do you call them, the dolums that they would ship wine in.
Yes.
From the Romans. That was a big part too of that's how we know where Celtic people were. I think they had like a bunch of like clay vessels that used to have Roman wine in them.
Nice.
But you know, barrels are a historical thing too.
And then
ancient ruins.
Cap it off. I just have a few maps that are finished to show you. I think. Oh, what was chat said? Sliced bread. Exactly, Diggs. Garbo says warriors actually using spears instead of swords. After sword after sword. My inner pen is pleased. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, spears were OP, man.
Yeah, spears are OP. They're longer than swords. Like.
Yeah, but swords are very cool. So
swords are very cool. Yeah. And OG Mistral says, "Nice. Do you have an online DD campaign?" I don't know exactly what you mean by that, but we do have a series of PDFs that you can download from the internet, which is online, that are free. Free Venture Prologue Care on the Borderlands, and we do have a full campaign book that takes you through all of Avallen. That's massive. In fact, I have it right here, which is available now online across the world, digitally and in physical form.
Yeah, it's a very pretty book.
Yeah. Oh, is it backwards? Discord puts it backwards.
He means OG means do we stream a D&D campaign?
Oh, I would like to, but I'm also very scared of that kind of thing.
Are you?
Yeah. Mostly the setting up and that kind of stuff. I need to figure out how to make that work. But I have some ideas. But it's also a time issue as well, right? Like, we only have so much time and we're making stuff. So, but there is a Let's Play that exists of Avallen done by friends of ours. Gosh, it was years ago now, so now I've forgotten the names. But if you search for Legends of Avallen Let's Play, it comes up. Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about doing some things for this campaign in the course of it, but like Darren said, it's largely a logistical issue for us because it's also an investment to make a good-looking game stream. You could also just like play, but I don't know, like you could put so much in terms of
that's part of it. It's like, what do I show on the screen and how, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like what part of it, and it's harder for our game because it's a game that we made. As opposed to playing first with like 5th edition or something, and then you have like
resources exist as well. Yeah.
So, but we do like games, and hopefully that's the thing in our play for the future, to do some kind of Let's Plays, and then we do play games, on behind the scenes too. I'm in a Call of Cthulhu campaign right now, which is fun.
Nice.
And I'm trying to find the time to run something this April for fantasy, hopefully Legends of Avallen, but. It's always it's just getting people together. It's always the thing. So, speaking of adventures and things that you use for adventures, we got a little map here, ancient ruins.
Yeah, this is an adventure map. So this is a map of a ruined ancient city in the Penlevy marshes, and it kind of ends up being like broken and run down to the point where it becomes like a labyrinth, and then in the center of it is a burial chamber, which features magical traps. A variety of places, and then to the great disappointment of adventurers that come here, it's my intention that these rooms are already looted. they are empty, and they drive you further inwards, and you find that all the rooms are empty. There's a statue to the Ever Stranger here. And then there's a final chamber, which could be a location for a battle or a fight of some part. And this room has also been looted, but there's actually a secret chamber back here full of treasure that you have to find the way into, and it's up to the GM to figure out how that works exactly. And the point of these adventure maps is not to be an adventure, but to be a seed for a GM to create an adventure around it. Like maybe they want to find this place, maybe it's a random encounter. What's inside there, it's up to the GM. We'll give them a bunch of advice and that kind of things, but fundamentally it's a tool for the GM to use to make their own stuff. And it's open-ended, yeah.
Notably, too, this is like advanced wall building technology with Pen Levy, which kind of feeds into the lore, right, of ancient ruins that are pretty advanced for what they look like. But you'll find out that in the Game Master section.
Yeah.
And Jexwolf's working on a novel. Tell us about your novel. Give us the elevator pitch as we talk. Put it in the chat. Tell us. Tell us enough to pique our interest, but not enough that you can accuse someone of stealing it.
Yeah, in 2 sentences.
That's the trick.
Yeah.
So this is the Pen Bythe map?
This is the Pencower map. This is
Pencower map.
Yeah. This is a fort on the plains and the meadows. Ignore the white. I haven't edited this yet, so ignore the white lines. They won't be on the final version. But this is just to show like a typical hill fort kind of town layout. I think, well, it's up to the GM, but I also imagine there's like another set of walls around here that you can't see because they're off the side of the map. This is just like the town square center kind of area, and then there's an inner fort on a raised area here. And then the idea was just to have, it's supposed to be a place for political intrigue and just like a non-combat-y adventure place, although you could have combat here as well. So we have an alchemist hut, a blacksmith, a tavern, stables, a granary, a market, a bunch of houses, a bonfire area, and then an inner fort, which has tables as like a hall, a throne, and then back chambers with bedrooms that can be stuck into or other kind of mischief. And then there's like a mini stone circle outside the fort here and some trees and stuff. And hopefully it just kind of ignites your imagination on being able to do something with it. And it's kind of up to you, you know.
Just have a once the book's released, just have a Discord chat for the maps. Like, what did you use?
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, I'd love to hear about people what they do with the maps. Yeah.
What they do with it. Yeah. We have a question. Gerbo asks, Waddle and Dow makes decent walls, and have you ever been to the Eden Project?
Dude, I would love to go to the Eden Project. I think it's been like a few times where it's like almost happened, where we've almost gone, but then haven't for some reason.
London, right?
No. It's in southwest England.
Southwest England. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a bit out of the way.
Yeah, I've never. Yeah, it looks amazing. It looks very cool. And it looks like there's a lot of nice inspirational stuff here too.
Yeah.
Majex Wolf. Oh, thank you for telling us about your novel about anthropomorphic animal characters and something dark. It's coming to the Scarwild with Jarvis Drake, a male fox, who must find out what is happening. Very cool. So, a little fantasy. What's it? How do you say? Feywild, Scarwild, Zootopia energy, which I appreciate.
Yeah, you did it in 2 sentences. So I was impressed. I guess it's kind of one sentence, really. But yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
That's the sign of a good writer.
Yeah.
In Cornwall. Okay, Cornwall. No, I would love to go there. If I visit you this year, Darren, let's make a trip of it.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, so that's art review. That's the finished art of the week. What is next? Okay, next we were going to talk about the calendar, and that's because I was going to introduce it to you, and then I thought we could just introduce it to chat at the same time.
Yes.
So
I'm flying by the seat of my pants, just like the rest of you. So let's figure it out.
Yeah. So previously in Legends of Avallen, so in our first book, Legends of Avallen, we had a small chapter on Avallen lore, which is precisely. I still love all the artwork in this book. Look at this piece between the Valak and the Raxian combat.
Yeah, I also love that piece.
With magic, right? That's important. It's the same, but not the same. Anyway, so in this book, we, mostly you, but a little bit of me, we came up with a festival for each of the clans as part of the lore section to show off their culture, right? So, for example, the Pencower, they have I forget what we called it, but they had basically April Fool's Day, right? Where was that?
Oh, that was in the I forgot what he called it. Caster's? Is it Caster's Day? It's usually at the end of the clans. No, it'd be up next. It's on 136.
Where 136?
Go up. It'd be probably above the leadership section. No.
I can never find it. I should just read it. Generations, trade,
oh, there
glory,
it is.
ancestry.
Every child's clan.
Yep. Okay.
Down.
Annual festival. Here we go. Annual festival in honor of the Everchild. Castaways Day is a celebration on that spirit, with much of the day spent aggravating loved ones with tricks and lies, and the evening filled with festive reconciliation and praise for the most brilliant of the day's ploys. So it's basically our version of April Fool's Day, right?
Now notice that we don't say April. I don't give a day.
Yes.
We leave it very open. This is an important thing in your world building is don't write yourself in the corner if you don't have to too soon.
Which is funny because we did do that in other spaces and I now regret it because I'm having to retcon some things to make things fit, which you'll see in a minute. So yeah, we gave each of the clans their own little festival to give them something that you can use as a GM to have going on, because festivals are always useful for gathering people together, adventures and incitement for events and that kind of thing. And now we're doing the full lore book for Avallen. We wanted to expand on these things and do more festivals and a calendar and time of year. And so I did some thinking about that. And of course I was referencing the traditional Celtic calendars as well. And you would think that the calendars would revolve around the equinoxes, right?
Right.
Winter solstice, summer solstice, that kind of thing. But they don't. The main festival events happen midway between the equinoxes and the solstices, which I found really interesting. Like, you think the longest day of the year and the shortest day of the year would have big significance, and I think they do have big significance in the culture, but they're not marked as huge festivals. And I still need to read more into this to find out exactly what's going on the solstices. But fundamentally, what you have is an autumn festival, which is like Halloween, right? Is the pagan origins of Halloween. There's a spring festival. There is a summer fire festival, and then there is another festival that I've now forgotten. There's 4, right? So what have I done? Halloween, spring, summer. Oh yeah, some kind of winter festival, which I can't remember now. That's embarrassing. That's fine. We'll find out because I've written notes about it. That is today. Ostara is a spring festival, and it's today.
Yeah,
well, that's perfect.
Yeah, I said happy vernal equinox.
Yeah.
This was my opener today.
Yeah.
And then
so I looked up the festivals and found the major ones and wrote down the Welsh and Irish names for them. Blessings to all of you. Ostara, blessings to all of you. Ostara, blessings to you, Zofia. Awesome. So in October, in October we have obviously Samhain, which is the Irish Halloween, and in Welsh it's Calangave, which means like winter's beginning. And then in February, or near February anyway, we have Imbolc, which is the Irish tradition for it, which is like the spring, beginning of spring. In Wales, I couldn't find much on a Welsh spring festival, except I do know at the moment we have St. David's Day, which is like Wales' St. Patrick's Day. And it happens in spring when the daffodils bloom. So it is tied to spring starting and flowering and that kind of thing. So obviously we can't include St. David because that's a Christian figure that happened post-Roman invasion. But the feeling is there. So I added a mention of like blooming yellow flowers and that kind of thing. And then we have Summer Start, which in Irish and Scottish Gaelic is the Beltane Festival, which is quite popular and still celebrated today. It's basically a fire festival of bonfires and that kind of thing. and in Welsh is Calan Haf, which just means summer starts. And then finally there is the other festival of Summer's End, which is Corvan Naf, but there's not really anything big there. Oh no, here it is. Sorry, it's August, isn't it? That's right. It's Lufnastath Day. I forget exact pronunciation. My Irish is terrible. And it's basically the Harvest Festival, which is Gwyllt Meddwl in Welsh. So those are the 4 festivals. Yes, we've got the Harvest Festival. We've got the beginning of Winter Festival, which is Halloween essentially, with this beginning of Spring Festival and the beginning of Summer Festival. So they all mark the beginnings of the seasons as opposed to the middle or the ends of them. Kurt, do you want to catch up with chat for a second while I drink some water?
Yeah. So there's some comments because it seems like this is a very popular subject with everyone. Gerbo notes that the visual culture hero festivals make sense to separate from the cosmic event festivals like solstices and equinoxes, that they can further break up the year, as well as not step on cosmological toes. Good point. Zilphia mentions Lugnas. I am going to say it wrong. Oh, there it is. Thank you, Zilphia. Lugnasad is the most common pronunciation.
But isn't the DH sound like a the sound or something like that? Like or a VH sound even? I forget. I know it's not D though. But I guess, like you said, most common pronunciation is different to linguistic formal pronunciation from the past, right? So yeah.
Right. Yeah, and even like the Irish forms we have, from what I've seen for certain things, they go through a evolution of Old Irish versus the way we would say it now, right?
Yeah.
Specifically with it's a tricky thing, right? Like Lugnasad is obviously dedicated to what the god Lug or Luga, who's a prominent figure in Irish mythology who we don't have.
Yes.
Or we don't have in the same way. Like we'll have, part of what we're doing in this book is creating more mythology that references a lot of these things, but it's not a one-to-one necessarily, right?
Yeah.
It's and then a lot of it too is inspired by all of old Celtic mythology, but there is an emphasis on a lot of Welsh stuff in a lot of the places. And so a big question from me to you is, as we, so we're making a calendar, right? And we're putting all this historical stuff into it, or referencing historical things. That's really important. But the other question is, in terms of the cosmology of our world that we're building, making the hard choices of, do we have 12 months? Do we have 10 months? Do we have, like, is the answer that it's just the same as like Earth days? So
I've been going round on that, and we'll get to it at the end of this presentation. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Zilphia, yeah, exactly.
Because even with the 12-month system, there's flexibility there, right? And being a fantasy world, we can make it whatever we want. We could make it literally. Oh, also, there's some argument to me that I'm sure I'm gonna butcher it.
Sure.
But I think you had in your notes before for the festivals that there's also just really. There's a separation of the year into basically 2 main seasons, right? A warm season and a cold.
Yeah.
What was it? Calan Gaif and what's the other? Calan Gaif and
Gaif and Have. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And one is winter and one's cold. And it's a question of, is that also the path that we're going to go down, or is that further down your presentation?
Yes, there's further down the presentation. Yeah. So you're right.
Don't let me step on your toes.
Yeah.
Don't let me step on your toes.
But they're good questions to ask now, because it's like the the answer there.
Yeah. Because essentially what we don't want to do is have, we're not just to say March 1st or whatever. It's tricky, right? Because when you're building a fantasy world, everything that you do that deviates from your Earth history, you have to be specific about, but that's what makes it special. And that goes to things as little as, like, what is your planet called? What is the sun called? Do you just say the sun, or do you give it a different name? And stuff like that. So and these are the tricky.
Tricky choices. When we started writing these festivals, I realized that when we did Avallen, so that children's festival, kind of Trickster's Day, I think it's Trickster's Day, Castaways Day. It's like, well, that's clearly Penkawa focused. They are tricksters in nature, and I think it's important that to note that not all Celtic tribes and peoples celebrated all the same festivals in the same ways and that kind of thing. So in Avallen, we thought it would be fun to have like a local festival, because it's always fun to go to a local area and find out, well, what do they celebrate? What do they do? What's their special day? What's their special thing? And so Castaways Day is the Pencawer special festival that only the Pencawer celebrate, right? So you have to go to the Pencawer land to experience Castaways Day, right? For example, you might say as a tourist from the Raxian Empire, and you can't do that in the Pendraic lands, right? Maybe there might be some Pencawer in the Pendraic lands that still celebrate it, but fundamentally it's a Pencawer festival, right?
Yeah. The convention of celebrating St. Patrick's Day a different country over is not a thing.
Yeah. But then we still want there to be unified celebrations, because the Valak are still one people on one island. They share the same pantheon of gods. There should be festivals that are celebrated across all of Avallen, perhaps in different ways, but still the key festivals. So I decided that those mid-equinox, starting of season major festivals that are marked in the traditional pagan Celtic calendar, they should be the ones that we make Avallen-wide, and then the ones that we mentioned in Legends of Avallen will be the ones that are the local ones, which is great. We've already mentioned those. They already exist, right? Mm-hmm. But then, you know what I'm like? I got this idea in my head, and I was looking at the Spring Festival of Imbolc, and I was just thinking, well, Spring is just the Evermother. That's what she's like, right? She's about spring, flowers, growth, rebirth. The forest comes to life. I imagine that would be a really important celebration for the Penbythe, even though it's like a Valak-wide festival. And so then I thought, well, what if that was the festival primarily associated with the Evermother, and everyone celebrated the Evermother on that day to have like inter-Valak unity? Because even though the Pendraic primarily worshipped the Everfather, they still worship the Evermother too. And so everyone should have a day for the Evermother where they pay their respects to the Evermother to show Valak unity, right? And so the natural consequence of that was, well, it's called Imbolc Day in Irish, and I haven't given it a Welsh name yet. But then, if it was the Evermother's Day, wouldn't it be Mother's Day?
Yeah, I guess it would be.
And in the UK, Mother's Day is in spring. And I was like, holy shit, that's interesting. Mother's Day is in spring. Cool. What day would I give to the Everfather? The Fire Festival in the summer, because he's the mountain king of fire, right? When's Father's Day? Also in summer. I was like, cool. Okay. Now, there's just a coincidence, but it feels right, you know?
It's looking at your. Also, we're not going to call it the Fire Festival because of modern connotations that are bad. We'll come up with a good name for it.
What's the modern connotations that bad? You mean the stupid EDM thing that song?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to not call it the Fire Festival because of that bollocks. No.
Well, don't spell it Fyre.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Imbolc, yeah. See, Zilpia knows her stuff. She's on the ball. That's right. Imbolc is the day for Bridget. That's correct. Yeah, that's right. And so, yeah, exactly. So I was like, okay, cool. So then we've got Mother's Day and Father's Day, and they're actually similar times to when they are in our world, anyway, which is the coincidence. And so then I realized, well, there should be a Stranger's Day then. And that just felt natural to be the Halloween, right? Samhain, which is connected with death, spirits, which is the Ever Stranger's domain, and everyone wears masks, which is then makes you become a stranger, right? So that felt good. And then for Child's Day, I chose the beginning of Autumn Festival, which has a lot of games in it. Now, the games are kind of sporting, but they're also kind of like jovial games, and so it's a game of it's a day of games, which is the wheelhouse of the Everchild. So I was happy with that. And then there was the Ever Elder, and this is where things got like a little bit tweaky, because previously for the Penavunk clan, which is the clan that primarily watches the Ever Elder, we gave their festival as the Ice Deadvod, right, Kurt?
Yes. Yeah. They had the Esafod. And we talked about that on what was the last stream or 2 streams ago? About the
one of those.
Yeah, but essentially it's a Fili Bard gathering where everyone goes to the Naknafili in the north, and they show off their stuff.
Yeah,
and we basically established. Sorry, good.
Yeah, no, you go.
No, I mean, we soft decided that it was going to be sort of an annual thing, but there's a big one every cycle in the Pen of Ankh lands every several years or something, right?
Yeah, exactly. So originally in the book, we were kind of ambiguous. We just said that the biggest Eisteddfod VOD is here, implying that there's other ones. And so we've made that concrete in saying that, yeah, the Eisteddfod VOD is perhaps Avallen wide most years. Maybe there's an Eisteddfod VOD in the Penkalwer, Pendraic, and Penbythe clan lands for the local clan stuff. But then the big one that everyone goes to is every 3 years in the Pen of Ankh territories, right? So that's then changed from being a small local Pen of Ankh custom to being like a global Avallen celebration date, right? And so I've tied that to the Midsummer Festival. I've made it like the summer equinox, said that it always happens at the summer equinox, basically, and I've called it Elders Day, right? So it's still the Eisteddfod VOD, but it's Elders Day as well, and it's a celebration of shared Valak history, stories, and that kind of thing, which ties into the Ever Elder, right?
Yeah, and that kind of makes sense for a long day of the year. You know, you hang out and you spend as much time hanging out.
Yeah,
with your friends and family.
And telling stories, singing songs until the sun eventually goes down. Yeah.
Oh, some quick chat notes. Sticky says they're doing another one. No. Fire Festival, we need another one. Zilphia says that they're pagan, they know their stuff, and Irish Celtic pagan to boot. That's for sure. Gerbo, for your just a quick side note on that. When you do like your big wedding, are you gonna have some pagan stuff going on? What's the deal with that? That sounds like it could be a lot of fun to play.
Yeah. Like the only example we have of marriage in Avallen at the moment is Penbythe customs, and I forget exactly where I got it from, but maybe you would know this, Sophia. But we had this custom of them tying a ribbon around a tree. I forget where we got that from actually, but I'm pretty sure that has some old pagan roots and stuff. Go on, continue your reading.
Gerbo says the Fire Festival has to have references to Lou's bonfire night traditions.
Yep.
I'm not familiar with that tradition. Do you know about the Lou's bonfire night traditions?
I feel like I read about them a few years ago, but I can't remember now. Yeah. I'll write it down.
And he also says, Gerbo also says that maybe the other similar Eisteddfods happen before the main one each year, so the winners can travel to the main one for the major contest. So it's one of these things where that's an interesting idea, but the issue is that communication isn't as clear, where we can have like feeder events into a larger tournament, right? I mean, what do you think, Darren? Is that something that...
like fundamentally the clans send the best, right? So they have to determine the best somehow.
Sure.
So I'm not against that idea. Like, it could just be that the Pen of Ankh accepts people that have this certain seal that's given to them by the leaders during their own festivals. But I don't think I want it to be earlier like in the year. I think it's going to be, like you said, like there's a few years of local festivals, and then once every 3 years there's the big one in the Pen of Ankh, and then there's a gathering there. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like things move on a slower rate and time scale than it would be of like feeder event going into an annual tournament, which feels like a much more modern sensibility, time scale sensibility, right? But at the same time, doing it every year and using the smaller events to decide on who your good storytellers are, that does make sense.
Lewis Sussex. So okay, maybe I do know about Lewis. Yeah, the Lewis Bonfire Night. I think I do. Yeah, when I've been reading about Lou Nasser Day and the bonfire. I put it in the wrong section, haven't I? Sorry, Beltane. Yeah, I've been reading about all the English versions of Beltane as well at the same time.
And something, if you're new to the chat, just remember that I say everything wrong, both in foreign language and my own language.
And I do my best to get it right, but still get it wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so go easy on me in that. But I know what letters look like, and I do my best with it. Forgive oneself. That's important. All right, so
yeah, nice, Sylvia.
So I still like the idea of I like the idea of the small events obviously being the way to build your reputation as a great storyteller or bard of Feely. but I suppose that there should be a some sort of ritual or thing for the big Isafod, and it's probably tied into the smaller ones.
Yeah.
A specific event or a way of deciding amongst the clans.
Because there has to be a way to stop like any bard that wants to go to the big Eisteddfod and the Pen of Isles. It's not an open invitation, right? So
you have to have a reputation.
Yeah.
You have to have a reputation.
Yeah.
So definitely that.
So those are the big days, and then once I put Ever Elder's Day on the summer equinox, I realized there should be something on the winter's equinox as well. But and it's an important day as well in Druidic traditions and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But this is where was it Chekhov's gun? We earlier said we don't want to write ourselves into a corner. Well, Kurt, we wrote ourselves into a corner. Winter solstice is our Christmas for the Penn Bythe community. We have a festival. Where is it?
Did we put a date on it?
Yep.
I thought
you put a date on it. Someone put a date on it. I think it was you, but I don't want to say it completely.
You're gonna throw me under the bus.
Yeah.
It's that guy. There's the other guy that did it, not me.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah, page 138. Worshippers of the Evermother pride themselves on their unity, each member of a tribe likened to a single root that helps to feed the tree that is their community. This philosophy is reflected in the Kinhive feasts, the main festival honoring the Evermother and the turning of the seasons during the winter solstice. Yeah. And you know what's even worse?
What's up?
Kinhive means autumn. So it's called the Autumn Feasts, but it's in the winter solstice. So
why'd you let me do? Why did you?
I don't know. That one's on me. I put that on me, so we're both to blame here.
Where did I get? God,
I don't know, dude. Yeah. It's a long time ago.
Oh my God, this is my nightmare, guys. This is my nightmare. This is everything I don't want to be.
Yeah, exactly, Sophia. It's a mix of Mabon and Yule. That's exactly right. Yeah. So.
Well, looks like we're gonna do some retconning.
Yeah, so we didn't. So we had two choices. I've already made a choice, but I don't mind going back on it. We had two choices. One is we move the festival to autumn, which is the name, and then that frees up the winter solstice for an Avallen-wide event, which is probably more important because it's the winter solstice. We should know what everyone's doing in Avallen, not just the Penn Bythe community. And then we make this the Penn Bythe only festival, because that's how it's described. It's described as a Penn Bythe only festival, and we move that to autumn by the name. The problem with that is obviously people that read the original book, they don't know, unlikely to know what Kinhive means, and they'll just see winter solstice, so that would be like a full retcon. The alternative is to keep it at winter solstice and probably change the name, but then winter solstice has two events on it, perhaps the Penn Bythe one plus an Avallen-wide druidic event. I went for the former and just did a full retcon and just pretend we didn't say winter solstice here and left the winter solstice for something else. So what did I say? I moved it to November and made it like a Thanksgiving kind of early Yule kind of celebration. And changed the name. Or kept the name, sorry.
We're older and wiser now, isn't that right?
Yeah. And then I made December like the Everpact Day. I was trying to think of another big thing for everyone to remember. And we've already done the 5 gods. And so I chose the Everpact for now. We can change it. But I wanted something to be super like holy and unifying in some way, and something that the druids would want to pay attention to. So I've chosen the Everpact for now. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but we could switch it. We could put the Penn Bythe Festival leading up to the winter solstice and just have it both at the same time, right? That's fine as well.
I mean, I guess if we maybe the reason I put it, I was thinking about putting winter is it just sounded too much like Thanksgiving to me, and I was like, but like Zilphia says, Mabon is how is it Mabon?
Yes.
Being that makes more sense to me. Just do the full retcon and just
yeah.
Let's do the full retcon. And what I meant to say was not winter solstice during the. I meant to say the winter season, right?
Yes.
Seasons.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's not solstice. I meant the winter season.
Yeah.
The cold season. So that's what we meant.
So then I had these festivals. I had the 4 on the times between the equinoxes, basically the beginning of seasons, and then I had 2 at the major equinoxes, the winter equinox and the summer equinox, and then we have all these local festivals. And I was like, well, I can just put those between them, right? These are just local festivals that between these big major calendar dates, right? And so then the Penbythe one gets stuck between essentially Halloween and the winter equinox. Then the Castier's Day goes in April, just like April Fools. That's perfect. The K-Bar Games can go towards after Midsummer and between the Child's Day, and it's just like it happens at summer when there's lots of time for that sort of thing. It is a bit awkward that the K-Bar Games, the festival after it, is also a day of games and stuff, but that's fine. This is Avallen wide, and the K-Bar Games is just for the Penstrike, correct? So
we don't have to reference anything against Fairy Queen for the K-Bar Games, right? Did I write? We didn't write ourselves in the corner with that.
No, I don't think we put it at the same time.
Okay, good.
And I did that deliberately because you could do the quests in any order, right? So yeah. And then finally, the Festival of the Mucker Levy, which the Penlevy have, will be in September, before our Halloween, and it's still in the autumn time, so that all works nicely. We, like I said, we changed the Ever Elders, so we changed the Penavunk Festival to a global Avallen Day, which means the Penavunk can now need their own local festival, and that can fit in March somewhere. I think it should have something to do with the tides and the sea, because the other festival for the Ever Elder is about stories and secrets, so we should tie into the other aspects of the Ever Mother. So the Ever Elder, which should be tides in the sea, which makes sense as well because it's only for the Penavunk, and so the Penavunk care more about the tides in the sea and that kind of thing. So it should be something to do with that. In fact, Sylvia and Gerbo, if you know any festivals that are related to the sea, we are in the market for that kind of thing right now. So if you...
do us better than a Google search.
Book.
Well, we'll look at I gotta get that. There's a book that I referenced that I have on me right now, but I'll go pick it up. And look at that. But we're live. We're going live. So if you got anything, let us know. There's also Cinco de Mayo. We could use that. We could do Black History Month. That's another one we could add in there. All sorts of fun holidays.
Yeah. So then once I had all these down, it was like we almost had 12. And then, yes, we got Stranger's Day, Everpack Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Elder's Day, Child's Day. So that's 6. That's 5 for the gods plus 1 for unity. And then we have the Penlevy Festival, Pendrake Festival, Penkawa Festival, Penavunk Festival, and the Penbythe Festival, which is 5. So 5 plus 6 is 11. So there's 1 missing for 12 months, but that's fine, at least for now. And so then I went looking at what the months are called in Welsh, and I knew some of this already because some of it's really cool. Like they have a half mixture between Latin names and old Celtic names. And the old Celtic names are very literal. Like October is Hydref, which literally etymologically is derived from heart bleat, as in the bleating sounds of a hart deer, like a male deer, during their mating season, basically. And then November is Tachwedd, which means slaughter, and that's when you slaughter the animals before winter. And so then that ties in nicely with the Penbythe Feasting Festival, right? December is Ragvir, which just means foreshortening, which is when the days are getting shorter. Then we get to January, February, March, April, and May. They're all the months that have the Latin names. They're like literally Januaris and Februaris and that kind of thing. But they also have nicknames in Welsh as well, so I use the nicknames. So January is Mawrvis, which means the dead month, which is really cool. And so then I was like, well, if we have one month without festivals, just make it the dead month. That works nicely, so we're good there. February is Misbach, which just means the small month. Don't have a name for March. April, month of the cuckoo, it's a bird. And then May is like Kintevin, which just means the beginning of summer. And then Mehevin is literally midsummer. And then July is Gordvanaf, which means summer's end. Then it got a bit funny because that festival I mentioned earlier, the Lunasad, and in Welsh it's Gwyllt Meadow, which just literally means harvest festival. The name for September is Medi, which also means harvest. But the festival for harvest is in August. So I was like, we could just steal the name and switch over and put Medal there instead, because September has another name, which is Mesmeni, which means moving carts, changing carts, which fits perfect with the Penlevi festival because lots of carts coming together from the different tribes. And so I spent ages fitting these things in, moving festivals around to match the months that are historically there, but also geographically there, matching with the names. And then that's when I came to the point where I was like, well, maybe we shouldn't give all these months names. Maybe it should just be the season. And the season begins with this major festival, and the Penavunk celebrate this festival in the middle of it. And we just have season names. And there's just 4 seasons, and there's a bunch of festivals in those seasons. And you just kind of mark the passing of the year by the festivals as opposed to naming of months.
Sure. That's a possibility. Quick comment from Zilphia, by the way. Oh, actually, Zilphia, I think I missed your note too about your wedding. The big wedding is happening at a Lusnada festival.
That's
It's going to be a mix of Celtic and Norse, and the ribbon is usually wrapped around hands. But you know that the Beltane has ribbon wrapping around a pole, maybe a tree called the maple. Oh, the maple tradition. And then also, Zilphia mentioned that Macnanan Maclir is the big guy when it comes to water, and he's celebrated around midsummer. So, we have the Ever Elder, so I guess we could connect their domains a little bit historically.
Yeah, let me just write that down to read more later.
Now, another thing to consider is, one nice thing about the Avallen setting is we're basically saying that we're drawing heavily from Celtic, Roman, Britain history, but we're taking liberties with it in its own fantasy world, right? And one trick you could do is to do that, what you're saying, which is not give the months names.
Yeah.
But then you cheat and say, this is what the Raxians call it, and then just have a Raxian calendar. That's what you're doing. And it doesn't have to be January, February, March, but it could be, an extension of the December, like a decimal or a numbered system that's a little bit simpler, which I'm sure someone's done already in a different fantasy property. But that's an option that's available to us, right? Because technically the Raxians would have their own calendar, like a much more set calendar than the Valak would have for their year. So that's a possibility. Yeah. But what do you think?
What does Gerbo say? Gerbo says that's closer to Glorantha. I don't know what Glorantha is, where the seasons are tied to the 5 elements. Then week names and day names repeat through each season, tied to other runes and powers. Oh, that's interesting, having the same.
Glorantha is a role-playing game.
Do I know?
Is that Earth Dawn? Oh, RuneQuest. Yeah.
Oh, RuneQuest. You mentioned RuneQuest earlier. Yes.
It's the RuneQuest, the RuneQuest world. So, but yeah, there's obviously different ways to do it. I think just the important part is that it's useful to the game master, right? Like, you can't do something too weird like this, you could do something weird, but it becomes unuseful. Like, there are 52 different months, and each month is only 7 days long. It's like, yeah, I guess you could do that if you want. But making it, with the fact that we could live in 2 worlds, we could have both if you wanted it. You could have just the season orientation, and then you could do a stricter Raxian calendar with 12 months, and then say, oh, that usually happens what the Raxians call so and so month.
Yeah.
And that way you get both.
Yeah. Like, we could just name autumn and say autumn begins with Lunasad, right? Gwyn Medal, the Harvest Festival. And inside autumn there's also the festivals of the Muckalevy. And
you don't
that's it.
You don't necessarily have to give them full month count. The Celts didn't have fucking calendars that they put up on their wall, right?
Yeah. And then the winter begins with Samhain. Oh, also it's the Valak New Year as well, by the way. Yeah, Samhain.
Right.
And Stranger's Day, and then there's also the Penbythe Festival of Tachwedd then, and also the winter solstice, Everpax Day. And then spring begins with Mother's Day, right? And we name spring.
Yeah.
And then in spring, there's also the Pen of Funk Festival and the Penkawa Festival, Castaways Day. And then summer begins with Father's Day, right? And it's the season of Half. And then in that season, we also have Elders Day, the K-Bar Games, and then autumn begins again with Child's Day, the Harvest Festival. So I think that's where I'm going to lean, even though we've done all this work to name all the season, all the months and stuff.
Well,
yeah.
Two things. Well, one, Gerbo says that after all, the real world has 12-month calendar and the lunar month calendars, and that's perfectly valid. Two, there is a small issue with.
Yes.
So, for example, Caster's Day, right? The Caster's Day. That is a Penkaur festival happening in Misgog, or what our world's April is, right?
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah.
We're assuming it's the same. Basically, we have the same lunar/solar year as, or Avallen had the same solar year as Earth does, right?
Sure.
But if Caster's Day is only celebrated by the Penkaur, there's no way for someone who's not in the Penkaur to know that holiday was happening, right?
If you don't know what you mean, I mean, you're just tracking moon cycles, right? So they would,
sure,
if they cared to know, then they would know that Castaways Day would be on this day somewhere else in the Avallen.
So what you're saying then is that again, I'm thinking it from the point of view of the Valak. If I am, let's say, Pendreg, and I don't celebrate Caster's Day, that means from March until summer, from what festival? If I'm not celebrating those festivals,
so February, Mother's Day, all the way until Father's Day. So you would mark the beginning of spring, and then you'd have nothing going on until the beginning of summer, Father's Day.
Yeah. But they're tracking lunar cycles.
Probably, yeah.
Right, and if they're tracking lunar cycles,
does it name them? Probably.
Right. Yeah. So that's an argument in favor, because from our point of view, we're seeing everything, and it's convenient for us. But from the point of view of a person who's living in the culture, how do they track it conveniently if they don't have all the everything locked in the way that we see it?
I mean, sometimes you just say moons, right? You just say the first moon of spring, second moon of spring, third moon of spring, and then it's summer.
I think that's totally fine. I'm just saying that's what they do.
right. We should say, right? You're right. So basically what you're saying is either name the months or say how they track the months, right?
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, it'll be confusing in the world about how they would do it if you don't actually have a calendar. Now, the other reason to give them names is practical. It's easier. It's just easier for the game master to keep track of stuff and for everyone to keep track of it. Even if it's a bit anachronistic, it's useful, and we have.
I don't know. There's something romantic about saying the second moon of spring.
Okay, if that's the path you want to go down, then I agree with you. I'm all about romanticism in purple text. You know this. You don't have to convince me to have a good time.
I'm supposed to say Miss God. The second moon of spring sounds nice to me. What does chat think? I mean, we're not going to do exactly what you say, but we're always interested in what you think. Do you think we should name the months, or should we just name the seasons?
No, we're ready to vote. This chat decides the fate of Avallen's calendar. You tell us. You tell us. Do you prefer moons, or do you prefer
month names?
Month names. Yeah. I mean, obviously for me too, I like moons. And again, we could also get wonky with it. There's 3 moons, and then they're in perfect sync, but no, we have 1 moon and we have 1 sun, right?
Yeah, for now.
Yeah, so for now.
Yeah.
So until some cataclysmic fantasy event happens, and then someone ascends to moondom. Zilphia said that they love following the moons. There you go. All right, vote for the moons.
Okay, so that's the calendar then. Any other thing about the calendar you want to discuss? But did that answer all your questions? And what's missing? Basically, what's missing is a Penavonka festival, I think. And then that's it. Yeah, thoughts. I mean, you would give me a lot of thoughts, but any more thoughts? I guess it's okay if you say that.
Yeah. I do think again. So we'll obviously sleep on it a little bit, and I love the idea of following the moons, but that also does mean. us as when we start to describe stuff, are we also telling people? We're telling the game master that this will happen in. The tricky part about doing the moon thing, I'm not naming. I think it's useful to have a Raxian calendar, maybe, even if the Valak don't use it, because sometimes when we're referring to stuff, if you don't end up having the names, you're gonna say something like it happens in 4 moons after Casper's Festival, and then your reader's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But if you have like a Raxian
Well, no,
calendar,
it's only going to be 1, 2, and 3, right? It's only going to be the first. Well, it's going to be it'd be the first, second, or third, and that's it. It's like the first moon of spring, second moon of spring, third moon of spring, and then it's summer. So I don't think it's that bad.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, all right. Fair enough. All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
So,
but personally, the reason why there hasn't been a calendar so far is because I actually hate this kind of thing. Well, hate's a strong word, but when I run campaigns, I don't like tracking days and months. I like it to be a bit wishy-washy so that I can be flexible as a game master. My nightmare scenario of doing something like this for Avallen is that then a player goes to their GM and says, that doesn't make sense because, the Evermother's Festival is in spring and we're currently, 14 days into autumn. What the hell are you doing? Sure. That's my worst case scenario, and that's why I don't like putting names and numbers on this kind of stuff. But when we end up having this many festivals and then tie them to seasons, it just seems like, well, we should label them outright. We should name them.
Zilphia says that the Romans likely would have had a much different calendar than Celts, but very true. And obviously that's why we're still like pinning it up from our current age sensibility about where to place things a little bit, right? Just because that's why we put January or whatever on the calendar.
Where is it actually? I mean, we could check our number 1 source. Actually, we can't. I thought I had it right here. Oh, I do. Dude,
I wish
my weakness, I can never spell calendar. I can only spell it right now because I checked before stream because I can never spell calendar.
Do you spell it like colander?
Dude, I use 2 L's, and I also put the A and the E's in different places every time, and I just always stumble. Like, is it 1 L or is it 2 L?
No, I got words like that. There's what word is that like that for me? There's a word that has some combination of A's and E's that I always fuck up, and I'm trying to remember what it is now. If it comes to my mind in the future, I'll let you know. But yes, don't worry. I think people just have words like that they're bad at spelling, and that's okay. Gerbo says that the local Earth Spirit minor deity could have a local mini festival akin to the Evermothers. In case of the awkward player mentioned, sure, yeah. I mean, and you always, as a game master, you always have the freedom to, bring that up. These are your clans. Once they enter your world, you can 100%. Tribes will have their own kind of, and maybe that's a good thing to note, what Gerbo brings to mind, which is the fact that tribes too have their own celebrations, right? Like, you could have a celebration only done by a tribe that isn't necessarily clan-wide. That's how cities and towns work. So that's an important thing to note.
So what was that?
Zilphi said they do the same. Darren, thank the God, Roderick. Right? Oh, that was a good touch. He even spelled your name Garen.
Yeah.
And Diggly Dick said that she always messes up. Definitely.
Oh yeah, that is a tricky one. You're right, actually.
You definitely got it there. What word is it that I always fuck up? It has like damn it. It's gonna bother me until I remember what it is. But anyway.
Sorry, I know Coach said it, but I was reading this as well. Yeah, I agree. So in our trusty, the Celtic world, I had a feeling something like this might be true. Like, the ancients knew a lot more about dates and times than we think they do. In fact, often more than we do, because we have clocks and they pay attention to the sky instead because that's all they had. But it says here, the Celts' knowledge of astronomy, stars and the movements, and emphasis on the moon being the chief arbiter of tides. The moon would be of particular importance to maritime Celts. Recent analysis of fragments of a 2nd century AD, so 200 AD calendar, found in 1897 in a vineyard in North Lyon, so basically Gaul, was showing that it was primarily a lunar calendar adapted to the solar cycle, with an error of only 1 day in 455 years.
Pretty good.
So they were tracking days, day by days. Yeah.
There you go. So this further explains the Celts' ability to study the heavens systematically, an ability which I have seen Yeah, and that makes sense to me too, right? Because that's how Celtic culture was able to spread. It had to do with they had to study these things definitely for traveling and for resource
Yeah.
for logistics, for
Yeah.
logistical reasons.
Yeah.
Did
And
that
then
append everything?
yeah, and we do have these old, like again, the fact that the names for Welsh months are half Celtic and half Latin kind of suggests that the names go back 2,000 years, right? That they might have been the names that they were calling them, at least somewhat similarly to the time as well. So maybe we should name the months after all. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Celtic World, for staring us straight again. Very good book. Recommend it to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the one of the goat references in terms of
all things Celtic, yeah, and culture and history.
Yeah, just read this one straight. Oh, there's a Lugnasa.
Yeah, everything. Okay, cool. Right, then we move on. So the calendar stuff took a lot longer than I thought it would, but that's okay. It was fun.
Well, I mean, these things take time.
Yes. Very good. Yeah. I mean, how many calendar moons have passed since we started this topic?
Sure.
Okay, so
right.
that's the calendar done. Nice, nailed it. The next thing I actually really want to talk about was your stuff. So we have been, like, last month wasn't a very good month for writing, and that was for a number of reasons, but we're catching up this month and we're tackling the largest section of the book, which is the Varlic clans. Here we go. And one example of that is what Kurt has done. So what we did this month was I wrote about the Pen of Baith, and Kurt wrote about the Pen of Vunk, and then we kind of met in the middle, and we're going to look at each other's stuff. And I looked at Kurt's stuff, and I liked very much the structure that he wrote, and what he wrote, and then I kind of massaged it into a new structure. So this is what the final book will look like, at least to some extent, for the clans.
With fewer strikeouts and red lines.
Yeah, exactly. So this is behind the scenes. This is what our book looks like before it's published.
If you're writing your own book, this is the roadmap. This is the peeking behind the veil.
Yeah, exactly. So we begin talk about the clanlands, and then regions inside the clanlands. This is the part that I actually want to talk about, but we'll go through everything else first. So Pen of Vunk territories. Actually, let's go to the map so we can see the Pen of Vunk territories while we're here, which are very much not mapped out in the original book on purpose. Right, so Pen of Vunk territories. Then we talk about Pen of Vunk life. So, where do they live? What do they eat? Where do they get stuff from? What kind of dangers do they face? Then their culture. The Pen of Vunk wear masks. The storytellers. They have the Eisteddfod. And then this is where I wrote a note that now that Eisteddfod has become like a global Varlic thing, we might take this out of here and put this in the section where we talk about the Avallen calendar, right?
Sure.
And then
that's nice.
Yeah. And then we'll have space here for whatever the Pen of Vunk festival is. In the words of Cat from Red Dwarf Fish. What?
Was that?
What is that a reference to, Gabo? Are you talking about autocorrect? Yeah.
Yeah.
What they eat! Oh.
Red Dwarf the show. I haven't seen that. That's a show, right?
Yeah, it is a show. Yeah, it's a great British show. And I didn't really see it either. I remember it was like slightly, and this will make you feel old, but it was slightly before my time. In that I remember that when I was younger, older friends that I had watched that show. But then when I got to that age, I was watching different things. I just kind of just missed it. Although I don't even know the character names, but I know what they all look like. And I appreciate the humor, but I haven't watched it so much. But
you're familiar with the tech.
Yeah.
Or with Hold on, I gotta clean my. Chrissy says I need to clean my camera.
You got a private message, so hey, clean your shit.
Hey, poke, clean the camera, Kurt.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah.
Okay, that's better.
So Pen of Vunk culture, then the politics, how they relate to each other, who's in charge, and how they relate to other people, and then we have the locations. And this is the part that I want to talk to you about. Oh, and also for people watching, this isn't everything. So at the beginning of the chapter, there will be a whole section with like bonus like character feats that you get for being a member of this clan, and then a bunch of tables on choosing names that are from this clan, tribe that you're from, your appearance, that kind of thing. A bunch of stuff for inspiring you in creating your character from the Penavunk clan and all the other clans, right? So what I want to talk about is how we talk about the land and the people inside it. Now I've been thinking about this all day about how to explain this. I still haven't got it right, but I want to try and elucidate the issue that I'm having with this, with just this part of the structure, and then you tell me what you think. So
sure.
When I look at the Penavunk clan lands in this introduction, I kind of want to know a few things. One, I want to know what the land is like, which is great. And then I want to know who lives there, or what there is. Like, what are the names of these islands and what are they? Now, in the final map, I guess the islands will be named. So perhaps we don't need to mention the names here so much, because on the map they'll be named. Maybe instead it's more important to talk about the tribes that live there, right? But still, when it comes to the Penbaith, like, I want to discuss the fact that there's the Glincoth Forest, there's the Blackwood, and then there's Elwood, right? These are different regions, but different peoples live inside those regions. So I don't know. And then I kind of want to get that out of the way, but then I also want to know what tribes live there. And we could kind of pair them together, which is what's happened here. Except then later on in the section, we then talk about the locations. And I've now done that in a way where we name the tribe and then talk about important locations inside it. So we say the Ardri tribe, they rule Suechan Shinsir, which is up here. And then we also talk about other locations inside it that are important. But then if we structure this section by the tribes, what do we do when there's a region like the Blackwood when no one lives there? Do we just call it the Blackwood and then describe a few locations inside it, or do we name it by a tribe? And then if we're talking about all this stuff here anyway, then why am I bothering to talk about it up here? Is this just a waste of space? Or should this section just introduce it? Like, these are the locations that kind of exist, or the regions, and then later on we talk about the tribes? Or should I introduce the tribes here and then talk about regions there and have the tribes within inside the regions? Or should I just get rid of this section at the top entirely and just rely entirely on the bit at the back end? So that's what's jumbling around in my head, and I'm sure the end result will be, actually, it doesn't really matter, just pick one and be consistent. But I feel like, yeah, I want to be consistent to Kai's space, but I also want it to be clear, and I think the tribes are the most exciting part, but I want to save the tribes anyway. Yeah, so now you can talk. What do you think?
So tribes are exciting, but I do feel like you have to talk about in this context, when you're talking about both people and location and landmarks.
Yeah.
You need to focus on the region as the top level hierarchy, and
so?
The tribe is a part of that hierarchy. So that means that, like, when you talk about the lands, so if I go down, so scroll down, whatever.
Yeah. So for Ardri tribe, instead of Ardri, you'd say Suechan Shinsir.
Yeah, you say Suechan Shinsir, and then the top bullet point would be the Ardri tribe. And you talk about the Ardri tribe in the context of who lives on that land.
Yeah, but then that bullet point isn't a location then, right? That's a people.
Yeah, but it's a feature of the landscape is the people who live there, right? Okay. So if I say Susan Shantir, dot the Ardri tribe, the Ardri tribe rule, they're the rule tribe, blah, blah, blah. It's just a feature of the location.
So would you do this then? So you say, like, the Ardri... So the section's called Suechan Shinsir, which is the name of the island. Then we have the Ardri tribe, and then we describe the Ardri tribe at one bullet point, and then we have Suechan Shinsir, which is the name of the fort as well. This is a mistake as well, right? We shouldn't have named the island the same name as the bloody fort, and the fort the same.
It should be Suechan Shinsir Castle.
Yeah, like we should be like doing something like that, right? We should probably change that because it's really annoying.
Okay, well, we'll talk about it.
So this is what you're suggesting then? So we have, like, section. Yeah. I mean, you can even describe the region. Island is like this.
Under Suisan Shenchir there, I would describe the island, what the island is like.
Yes, island is like this. Then we have introduce the tribe. then the location where the tribe lives, and then other features that are in the region as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I just feel weird, like having. I feel like all these bullet points should be features. Like I feel like we could do it like this. Items like this, second paragraph.
No.
This tribe, but then there's no like boldness for the tribe. You know, it's hard to then find the specific tribes when you're looking through. That's my worries I have, is that I'd want to know what the major tribes are. How do I find that information out quickly? And the answer is you don't if it's like this, right? Whereas if the tiles of the section, then you do.
The other way to do it, if you're worried about that, is to have the information about the Ardri tribe as a bullet point, but you could have a little, but maybe as part of your graphic design, the UI, because you're worried about a UI feature, right?
I guess so.
The user,
yeah.
So you just want to have a box somewhere that says these are the major tribes of the Penavonk, and then you just have a box that says.
Well, yeah. So like that could be up here, you know, Penavonk territories, and it could be like. Instead of territories, we could talk about the tribes, and the tribes are listed here.
Right. First time chatter, Vandervision, welcome to the chat. Sorry, we're getting real deep in the weeds.
Yeah.
And Gerbil says that if tribes are tied geographically and culturally to the region, the ecosystem of the particular region will be key. And that's kind of like what this does, right? Which is by putting the ecosystem, the region as the top level hierarchy, then the people sort of feed into that and related to that. So that's why I think that's the more sensible way to organize it.
So then it seems like I mean, this might save us space. Then maybe we don't need this whole section, right? Like, or unless we.
No, I don't think you need because like when you talk about the Penbide lands, you're not going to say these are the 4 sections of the forest. No, you don't need those 4 bullet points. The Suisan, Sincere, Innis, Doiden. You don't need to have those be separate. Like, you're going to talk about those in the next section anyway. You still want to talk about it generally, maybe.
Oh, like, it's like the environment, yeah.
Yeah, but those 4 bullet points, those are all going to be sort of put into the region sections, I think. And, yeah, I think that's okay. So basically, that's going to disappear. But when you talk about Penavonk territories, that'll be a much shorter section, just talking about it generally.
Generally, yeah, and then move into Penavonk Life.
Like, we still mention it like there are 4 islands, but they're not like bullet points. So we just,
right. So this becomes okay. So what did I write here? What does it matter? So then we say this becomes general overview of landscape and regions, but then we don't mention the tribes here, right?
Yeah, exactly. And Gerbil says, a box. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'll just talk to myself. No, you tell what the chat says.
Yeah, Gerbil says, a box up the top with a helicopter pitch for each tribe can be listed. He likes that. And it's up to you how you want to handle it. It could be, if you wanted to go down that path, like a separate thing for the tribes, you could either do in each section, or you could just have a box. Once we decided all of them, you could put that in an earlier section saying, these are the names of all of the tribes. And then you can just quickly reference it later on, and that's just like a big ass box. After we've fully decided on everything, I think you can make that call. Or once it's done being written, you might not need it. It might just read naturally, right? Like when I'm reading an atlas or a travel book about a region, it just kind of emerges naturally from the text, and you remember it from that, and it'll be okay. That's okay too. I don't think it's something to worry about too much. You're right. The tribes are very cool, and people want to learn more about it, and we want to write about it.
Yeah.
But that'll just come across in the way we write about it, I think.
Okay. So Vandervision, welcome. If you're still here, what are you?
Get the hell out of here.
What are you into? Are you into D&D? Are you into other RPGs? Are you into Celtic mythology? Do you make your own stuff? Do you just play games? Are you a GM? What's going on with Vandervision?
Are you a fan of Forgotten Realms and the wizard Vandergast, who served King Azun IV of Cormyr back before he died in second and third edition of Dungeons and Dragons? But I don't know, that's a possibility.
All right, so then I guess I've kind of convinced myself that so either we're going to have a separate box to talk about the tribes in, or at least maybe I'll do like a subheading. So like Shuas and Sincere, the island is like this. Subheading Ardri is the largest tribe. There's other tribes there, right? But this is the largest tribe that rules this area, and then bullet points of key locations. What do we think of that?
Sorry, I was laughing at Gerbo's Forgotten Realms chat. Yes, yeah, we don't talk about Forgotten Realms here. Sorry, one more time, Darren, because I got
Oh, that's all
distracted by
right.
the chat.
So we have like the title of the region, and then
Yep.
if there is a major tribe there that's worth talking about, then we have a subtitle with that tribe or a box for it, and then we have the locations, the important locations of that region.
So you want to do that in order to still highlight the tribe, the major tribe that is stewards over the land.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, if it works, that
Okay.
seems like it could work.
And then that means then this section disappears. Yeah, the Brennerbach has 4 main islands. So what did you do here? You wrote this stuff. So then the question is then, for example, we don't have to decide this now, but would we still say this, like the Penavunk lands consist of 4 main islands up here, and then describe the islands, or do we just say consist of 4 main islands, and then they'll be described later in the bottom section? You know what I mean?
I might say 4 main islands and then give them names.
Yeah,
and
not do so much detail. Like, would you still say the northernmost this and try and describe them? I think it's.
Yeah.
I don't think we have to do that because you'll be able to look at the map, right? Yeah. And honestly, and I might. I just thought this now, but I should probably have like a inset of like the map. Like, I want to do a new version of the Avallen map with all these new places on it, and then.
Oh, I see.
Then when we go to the Penavunk, we should have a zoom in of the map in the corner, right?
Yeah, similar to what you did for in Gets the Fairy Queen, right? Where you had like a close up of the map in the text.
Yeah,
or
for
like
the Penbow territories. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty attractive. I like that.
Okay, cool. Then I think that is that problem solved. Then I'm very happy. Good.
Wonderful.
Well, it's now late for you, although we've only been streaming for an hour and a half, so we can keep going if you want to. There's always more that I'm happy to talk about. In fact, the next thing I do want to talk about quite a bit, but if you have to go, that's okay. We can talk about it next week.
What's the next subject?
I want to talk about Discord activities.
Okay. No, that's important. Let's talk about Discord activities.
Okay. So, one sec. Let me just do this.
So what's the state of the union?
So the state
is there a state?
The state of the union is that we do have a Discord. It is a lovely place. People frequently message there when they have questions about Avallen, which is every so often. When they've done something that is Celtic or pagan related in their personal lives or been somewhere, which I love to see. And then when they're talking about other games. But that isn't that often. And in fact, now, just speaking as a content creator, I've noticed now that when I post things in there even, which updates the game, there's a lot fewer responses. Which means people aren't interested in checking in on what's going on, which is a bad thing. And I kind of want it to be more of a community because everyone there has so many shared interests, right? If the niche of people that are into Avallen is quite niche, and so a lot of people have similar joys in life, and I think we should get people talking more. Now, obviously, on the one hand, you should say, well, a community should create itself, right? But on the other hand, it's like, well, we could also partake and help in that community creation by being the change we want to see in the world, right? So what go on, you go.
Yeah, I think I have a hard time. I mean, I do use Discord, and ironically, I use it a lot for messaging because I do think it's a great messenger. I have a lot of Discords I'm a member of, and I just have a hard time engaging with them personally. And that's just me as a personal thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know what other people are like with Discord and how they engage with it. Like how often do you... Now, Zilphia is a member of Discord. I'm curious to see like how many Discords is a person a part of, and what drives you to engage with them. Like, do you have experience with that personally? Like, are there any other Discords that you engage with consistently outside of the Legends of Avallen Discord, or is it just kind of like what are your Discord consumption habits? I guess is my question.
Yeah, my idea was that I know there's lots of people that do lots of things and have a lot of passions, but they're just not talking about them. And I just wanted to have a community day, like once a week or maybe twice,
Yeah.
once every 2 weeks if we can't do that often, where there's just a topic that people get to participate in. And my original idea was just even silly things like posting your avatars in video games. Like if you play an MMORPG and want to see the character that you play in that game. Like, I don't know, it's just fun to talk about stuff, right?
Sure.
Or Pets Day, or Crafting Day, or, you know, there's always an open invitation for people to talk about their campaigns that they're running, but people still don't do it. If we have a day just for doing that, then people are going to start talking about stuff, right?
Sure.
And so what I wanted to do was just brainstorm, because I find these things difficult to do one at a time. But if we brainstorm like 20 ideas, well, then that's half the year covered. And I would every once a day, every week, I just pick one of those ideas and just start a conversation. If people join in, they join in, and if they don't, they don't. That's fine. And if we start doing it regularly, then I think it just grows the community more. So all I wanted to do was brainstorm ideas of things that to talk about that would be fun. And it's taken me. Sorry, I'm going to keep interrupting you one more time, but it's taken me, I think, almost a year to get to this point. I had that idea like a year ago, and it's taken me a year to get to the point now we're actually talking about it, and we might actually begin brainstorming ideas. Isn't that crazy? But yeah.
That is great. Has it just been on your list?
Yeah.
Now, in terms of like execution, because I'm looking at our Discord right now, right? And we have like announcements, schedule, introduce yourself, general. Maybe look at the Discord, show it up on stream. How's that?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Maybe.
I can't because
join the Discord.
We are the Discord.
We're on Discord right now.
Yeah.
I should. Here's some a survey or data, qualitative data from Zilphia, that she's the mod of another Discord but don't participate in it much. They have 3 where it's just an additional place for people who don't have Facebook for LARP stuff or TTRPG stuff. Aside from that, you have a Twitch streamers for going live notifications. The Avallen one is the only one you're very active in. That's why we need to make it more and more active to make sure that Zilphia has a place to play and share all their things.
And from personal experience as well, from other Discords that I'm in, often like the creators will say good morning to people and just ask how everyone's doing. And for some reason, I find that terribly awkward. I can't do that. I've been meaning to, but I'm just not that kind of person, I guess. And unless they're also not that kind of person, they force themselves to do it. But it feels weird to me to start saying good morning. And also, as much as I love everyone in Discord, I don't want to spend time chatting because I've got work to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the Discord is something that I like to pay attention to. If anyone posts in there, I pay a lot of attention to it. But if it starts becoming, but hopefully enough people begin talking that then it self-actualizes and I don't have to worry about it as much because I've got other things going on. You know.
But then you have the other issue where it's the I heard a term for it, but a community starts feeling less like a community. It's a statistical thing. As it grows, it starts growing itself, but then it gets to become unwieldy. But that's a good problem to have, right? That's what you're trying to do anyway. You're trying to grow your community. And also you'll have a lot of people lurking and so on, and just having. Basically, you want to try to cultivate a stronger, like you said, a stronger engagement. Engagement. Everyone says engagement, but getting people talking about stuff that's meaningful to them, because a lot of people
like obviously there's a cynical part of it. It's like, well, we would like to have an active community because it means that when we talk about things, more people respond to it. But fundamentally, I have seen everyone that's come into the Discord, and they always do a nice little introduction, and I see that everyone does things that each other likes, but then no one's talking about it. I just feel like there's so much goodwill that's not happening because there's no conversation happening, and the world would be a better place if people realize, you know, how much they have in common and what kind of joys they can share.
That's because negative engagement drives more than positive engagement. Unfortunately. That's rule number 1. Let's do your idea and have a bunch of ideas for things that we can engage with consistently. 2, we need just one channel for negativity, like a flame zone, like that. It's like, this is the negative spot where you can just bitch about your day and shit on other games without judgment. And
what the hell, dude?
What? No, you need a flame zone. You need
think so?
No, okay. So on one of the Discords I see that's very active.
Yeah.
It belongs to our good friend Andrew, my buddy who works at the Coast, and he has a personal one just for gamers. It's weird because it was originally just for our friends, and now there's a bunch of people there. I don't know. It's probably his friends,
right?
Whatever.
Friends of friends.
It also seems like people who don't know each other just getting games together. It's like a place for people to jump to League of Legends together. But my favorite part about that Discord is just it has Flame Zone and No Flame Zone, and those are the two main chats. And it cracks me up. I don't know. I like that about it. It's stupid, but sometimes people need negative engagement too. But positive engagement. If you want, let's brainstorm some ideas. And Zilphia says if we want help with Discord, I will deadass make you a mod. Make you.
Well, maybe we'll talk to you about that, Zilphia. Actually, that's really sweet of you to offer. Thank you. We'll talk about that.
Long time listener, first time modder. Okay, so in terms of ideas that you want to do,
just everyone, and maybe this is Kurt as well. Can you get access to the stream ideas so I don't have to type your ideas as well, and you can just type them yourself?
Yeah.
Do you want me to send these to you? I mean, you have it somewhere, but do you want me to send it to you now?
No. I could look for it.
And then everyone in chat as well. Just anything that you think would be a fun thing to talk about or share with other people in Discord. Just type it in the chat, and I'll put it on here. So.
Positive, not negative. Even though, I've shared my thoughts on that. Flame Zone. Sorry, you put Flame Zone question mark?
Yeah.
Consider it.
That's what the question mark means.
Yeah.
Welsh language basics. So discussion, language discussion day. Yeah.
Now, I just want to be clear here. Will this go into? Do you imagine that this would be part of the? Where would this go in the chat? Like, where would this Discord community
probably
would it have its own chat?
General. Just to encourage talking in general. And it'll probably end up being something like, "Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? This community day / week is this thing." And then I would share something about it, or whoever's writing it would share something about it, and then just encourage other people to share their own things and talk about stuff.
Yeah, and we're currently. So you want ideas for the week, for the theme for the week to talk about?
Basically, yes. Yeah. Well, it's the day, but I don't care if it spills over multiple days, right? It's fine.
Sure. Yeah. Today's topic, blah blah blah, and then people stop talking about it, and then Wednesday is.
Yeah. So for example, Welsh language. Yeah, it'd be once a week. Welsh language. How would we frame that in a way that it's self-perpetuating and that other people get to talk about it rather than someone's talking about it? Just favorite parts, aspects, or favorite words, like, or what experience.
Welsh questions, like study day, study.
Yeah.
Like, are you studying? You could also make it more broad. I mean, you could make it language learning in general, but you could say Welsh, but any languages, like what languages are you studying? Like, you make it broader, you make it more inclusive. You say, what languages are you studying,
yeah,
right?
there you go. So what languages do you learn? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you got it. What languages? All right.
And that's an important part of this too. And in terms of the categories, like temporally, you have one, a what are you doing now? What are you doing? Again, these are archetypes.
Yeah.
2, you could say share an experience. Then 3, you're asking for people to share share opinions, right? Debate. I'm just thinking of like archetypes of questions, like that would lead to engagement.
Yeah.
And 5.
Zilphia, could it be worded today? How pronounce it? Yeah, that feels like a different, because that doesn't lead anywhere, right? Because if I then have the word galley,
it's harder to.
Galley means can. Like, can you do something? Galley. Like, I can teach that word, but then there's not a conversation about it unless you talk. I want people to give their own experiences. I want people to give something of themselves. Talk about something that relates to them. So they'd be like, what's your experience with the word galley? But that doesn't work quite right?
Yeah. It needs to be something where you need to have a bit of room for broad engagement, which is why if you say, what language are you learning, that's good. Another thing though would be exactly. Like, if you especially want to engage with stories, is like we do a bit of homework and you do like a Welsh, like for example, if I'm studying Japanese and you just have like a little story, and I don't know, like there's way it could be a bit more involved than just a word, right? It could be like a phrase. It could be a phrase of the day. That might be a Welsh phrase of the day, and then you
Or just any experience with Welsh at all. Yeah. And any experience with Irish. Yeah.
with Gaelic, Gaelic languages.
Yeah. And like I want these to be sometimes be super specific, like experience with Welsh. That's fine. But then I'm also okay with just doing something like, what's your favorite TV show at the moment? Like we're all nerds here. We all enjoy media, right? And favorite books as well.
Sure.
Well, favorite fantasy book
Sure.
would be good. I guess favorite fantasy show then maybe it's better. Maybe more specific. But
You're probably gonna hate this idea,
no.
but Hear Me Out Fantasy Edition.
What does that mean?
Do you know what Hear Me Out is?
Does it just mean you mean to be saying something that might be slightly controversial?
Sort of, specifically. Hear Me. Okay, so I learned this from a bunch of Zoomers today at dinner. But Hear Me Out is where you basically offer a character or like a fantasy fictional character that isn't conventionally attractive or cute, and you make an argument for why they're dateable.
Yeah.
So you can play Hear Me Out. It's like a mini game, right? You say Hear Me Out. You know, the Tarask. He's strong. You got big strapping muscles. He's that kind of thing. It's stupid, and then people vote on yeah or nah. It's stupid, but it's funny. I don't know.
Yeah, it's on the list, and when it comes to it, you can figure out how to do that. Sure. It's not the first one I'm going to lead with though.
Sure, but we played it at dinner today, and it was my first time doing it. It was so stupid, but it was very fun, and that's kind of the thing that I'd love to chat about. Hear Me Out Fantasy Monster Edition. I know Chrissy would be about that.
Then any just favorite just recent trips.
Recent trips.
Places. Fun facts.
I like this First Quests.
First Quest, what does that mean? Oh, First Quest you ever did like an RPG?
Yeah, and it could either be your first experience with your very first RPG, your first experience with Avallen, your first experience with a given system, your first experience with it it could be TTRPGs, but it could be other kind of games too, right? First time I played a JRPG, blah blah blah.
Yeah, well, so but that can be like gaming. Yeah. But no, I like it a lot. First TTRPG experience. I think that's really fun to learn about.
That was an article series that I loved when I was a kid. In Dragon magazine. That was like my favorite article thing because it was just like professional game writers talking about their first gaming experiences. I love that shit. First Quest. Let's see here. What else we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay. 8 more. I guess if you've got Hear Me Out, that's 13.
Yeah. Is there anything that's easy to do that is kind of game-like with the counter, like choose your own adventure type thing that isn't like super hard to do? Like here's an encounter, you enter a room, what do you do? And then people just like talk about it, and then
I see.
That kind of thing. Like in Reddit, a popular thing is like I'm a genie, tell me your wish, and then I'll tell you how the wish comes through. Like the monkey's paw. So like Valak monkey's paw or something, where people tell their wishes or something they wish that would happen, and then you like make it come true.
Well, someone else has to reply, right? It can't just be me.
Someone else has to reply. Yeah. Someone else replies, and then they mess up the wish.
Yeah.
So that's like like basically fun things are fun, right?
Yeah.
Like if it's like a little
games,
game that you play. I like word games like that. But like you said, you also don't want it to be a chat. But that could be a thing where other people could.
But yeah, it's fun. Like if you make this like in world, right? It's like some like role playing fun for like in world. Fae wishes. So to Varlic like phase poor or something.
Exactly. And you for that I'm like wishes, we are the port of whispers, and then make a wish, and then we will tell you how it failed, and we try to stop each other and have fun with it.
That goes wrong. Is there anything more of that we can do? Like in-world Barlic stuff, like role playing, like.
Yeah, your you. Oh yeah, there's like the like hey gang, we're starting a new tribe. What's your job in the tribe? Right? And then people are like, I'm the alchemist, I'll do this, I'm the blah, it's like a mini role play, right? But it doesn't require a bunch of engagement, but it's a fun question where you can just like respond to it, and then
and
people
then
start to role play with
and
each
then
other.
I don't know, that has a midday twist of like midday or second day twist, something goes wrong. What do you all do?
Yeah. So you could gamify it a little bit.
Yeah,
make it fun. Like make people be like, oh, it doesn't have to be so stressful for anyone of us doing it or whoever is participating. It should just be us playing miniature. I love miniature games like that. Quizzes too. If there's like easy quizzes we can do that doesn't take a lot of prep.
Oh, how about just favorite like historical, mythical figures or legends, something like that.
Yeah.
Don't know what though.
There's I'll add to that. You can do versus. You could do the 2 missile figures and people vote on who would win in a fight. Like who would win in a fight. Then you choose 2 historical figures, and then people could talk about debate.
We choose 2, and people will.
Yeah, and then people debate on it.
Oh, so just like debate day. Yeah.
Debate day, sure.
Yeah, versus,
let people argue about it.
Debate. Who would win in a fight? Yeah. Challenge day 1: the life of a Avallen peasant. What's your intention then, Sophia? That the entire Discord role plays one peasant, or that you describe your day as a peasant in Avallen?
I kind of like that. Oh, like wait, is it everyone control one character? Everyone controls one guy. There's a game like that. There's a mini game called Everyone is John. Do you know?
Yeah, I know everyone is John. Yeah.
Everyone is John. Yes. Oh, just roleplay what you're doing? Oh, yeah, sure. Just roleplay what you're doing. Do we have... Would it be Also, are you suggesting that we put it in its own channel rather than general? Because we don't have a roleplay channel.
But I like everyone is John. Like, I just like the idea of
everyone
kind of like a chain letter. Not chain letter. That game you play as a kid when you roll the paper, right? And you just tell a story.
Yeah.
Like everyone has, you can't double post, right? So you have to wait till someone else replies to carry on the story.
Sure. And then you put rules about it, like you can only write like up to 2 sentences, and
rules.
And you can't commit suicide. Well, the game's fun. Yeah.
Post until 2 others have. Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah. That's that character in Avallen. Just after what you're doing, or that's that character in Avallen. Yeah.
No, I like that. That's fun. We're a gaming Discord, so the more fun you can make it.
Yeah, the more games we can do, the better. Yeah.
It's also a good game design challenge for us too. Like little things like that is just like they're mini games, right? You just throw them out, make it usable, have fun with it. I mean that's a lot of ideas. 1, 2. How many? What are we at now? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 18-ish.
18, 2 more. I like the game ideas. Any other interactive game things we can do?
I mean, riddles are a thing, but those are easy to just like people look up the answer or something. Oh, okay. Here's a stupid one. I can make a Mad Lib, like a fantasy Mad Lib.
You have to remind me what Mad Lib is again. Is it like an improv comedy thing?
Mad Lib is like where...
Was it a magazine?
You have a list of words.
Okay.
So, for example, you say 1 noun, two adjective,
Mhm.
3, plural now, whatever, and you have so many. And then once everyone fills in whatever those words are, you plug them into the story, and then you post the story, and then it's like random words that are put into
Oh, I see. I see.
the story.
Yeah. I don't
That's a good
know.
writing. I mean, it doesn't have to be long.
Yeah.
Again, this is just me throwing ideas out there.
Yeah.
I'm down to try it once and see if it's a pain in the ass. I'm sure it'd be a pain in the ass too, but Mad Libs are fun. I like Mad Libs.
Sophie has a riddle book with over 1,000 riddles in it. D&D themed riddle book. Yeah, that's.
I mean,
good.
riddle, and actually, riddle, like posing a riddle is kind of fun because it's also useful for role playing games, right? Like it engages you,
Mhm.
and then once you learn the riddle, you could use it in your game, like your own campaign at some point. So having a riddle day and like a puzzle day is pretty fun. Like just people just like post their favorite riddle, and everyone else tries to guess it within a
So it's actually
time
post a
frame.
riddle a day, so 1,000. That's true, but not a day. I think. I mean, if you're just saying we could just have a riddle day, like every Wednesday, post a riddle. Like I'm down for that
Yeah,
anyway.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of content. 1,000 divided by 52 weeks.
Yeah.
That's a few decades of content there.
Riddle day anyway.
Yeah. Do a riddle a week.
And then we'd make
Yeah.
Sylvia the riddle mistress.
You'll
Mistress,
be that'll
Mistress
be
of
your mod.
Riddles.
Mr. Riddles. That's your new name. That's your new mod name.
Well, yeah, so I'm sure you can manage a daily riddle, but I don't want a daily. I don't want a daily riddle. There's something to be said for
No. Give people time. Give
scarcity.
people
Yeah,
time.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Riddle day anyway. Right, Sophia, Mistress of Riddles. Yeah. Okay. Cool. We didn't actually add any more ones. I guess you did. You said Mad Lib, right? But I mean that's
Yeah.
fine. I'm not really into it, but it's fine. Mad Lib's
Yeah.
me one more.
I'm not convinced by it either. It's pretty. Let's say Mad Lib. Okay, one more.
A couple of times you're negotiating. I mean, you're right. I can't stop you from posting 300 riddles a day if you want to.
No, you have.
But-
If you post a riddle a day and people are just really, and we basically just have a riddle channel.
Yeah.
I will make a riddle channel that you can post a riddle a day. I'm down. I'm
Yeah.
game. I don't. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I just wanted to. I don't know. I like weekly cadence, and maybe that's just a me thing. But I just want to. If I know there's one coming on Thursday, I'm going to be excited every Thursday to find out what the riddle is on Thursday. You know.
Okay, I'm gonna err on the side of Zilphia, and I think
Yeah.
her instinct. Here's the thing: you were talking about people engaging in your community,
Yeah.
like in a natural way. Zilphia wants to post riddles every day, and she's
Right.
a mod. Give her a channel because that's organic. That's the definition of organic. It's a thing she wants to do. I'll check in on it and I'll answer and yeah,
yeah, you dude, you're 100% right. I'm sorry, Zilphia. I've been wrong this whole time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then fuck it.
If you want to post, if you want to post a riddle a day,
Yeah.
you have my blessing.
Yeah.
But
you're right.
that's but we can't promise that I can't promise I'll be answering a riddle every day.
Yeah.
But
Why not?
if there are people who will answer your riddle every day, then the more the merrier. That's wonderful. I'm about it.
Oh, yeah. Should we give her our own channel then? The riddle channel.
No, we're
Just
gonna
post it in
call it.
general.
We'll call it the den of riddles.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, but that's you know other people post the riddles as well there as well. Yeah, cool. Then of riddles. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. You now have our permission.
Wait, den of
to
riddles
post
or the realm of riddles or the riddle realm? The riddle realm.
Court of riddles.
Court of riddles. Ah, that's better. Was it
Yeah.
Court of riddles? Okay, cool.
The court of riddles, and then all of a sudden someone comes in. Oh, and who also loves riddles, and they'll just have riddle offs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I will say for the court of riddles, you can make it a bit more poetic too, right? People want to post poetry there. People want to post songs. People want to engage with riddles and story. Yeah, it's fun. I like it. But first and foremost, Zilphia's riddle time. That's the main draw. Riddle day. What did she say? Riddle day anyway. Riddle me this.
Riddle me this.
Riddle me griddle.
All right, one more thing to make it 20. Let's It's funny. I thought that we would like make 40. It'll be so easy.
Well, we can. Well, again, I have these archetypes. What are you doing? We have a "What are you doing now?" Well, what's a "What are you doing now" type thing, right? Like, what's another kind of "What are you doing this week"? What are you? You said movies.
What are you learning?
Yeah.
What are you learning?
Yeah, it's like self-improvement. What books are you reading? I don't know.
Yeah. Right. So we've got favorite fantasy book, favorite fantasy show. Yeah. What are you learning? What games are you looking forward to? What games are you looking forward to? Board games as well. Board games.
Alright, here's a dumb one.
Yeah.
Maybe. Kurt Short Story Club. I just want to, like, if I find a cool short story, I just want to post it and have other people read it and give their opinions on it and talk about a short story, you know?
You mean short stories you find or short stories you write?
Short stories I find that I've read.
I mean, we should just have, can't they just be book club?
Yeah, but books are harder, right? Like, I mean, it's book club, but it's harder. The problem with book club
Oh, you're saying you want to share short stories, you want other people to read it and then talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. So that way you have like a shared thing to do without like a huge. You mean for a day? You mean, hey, let's all talk about this short story today, or did you mean just a space to talk about short stories that you've read every now and again? No, let's talk about this short story. Like, hey, I found a cool short story. Here it is. Blah. I like this story. Read it. Tell me what you think, or share a story that's similar, and then people can talk about other short stories that are related to that. Or short stories.
Sure.
Short story.
Short short story. Discuss. Other stories similar. Okay, cool. This is good. So then the next natural question is, I mean, we'll brainstorm more in the future. Ideally, we'd get around 40, and then we could basically do once a week for a year-ish. And then I think it's fine to repeat again next year, right? We don't have to find infinite. Like, I do want to find out people are learning it again next year, right? So that's kind of fine.
I think it's fine to just start going through these.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if you have a list of me, then just repeat the list again. But what realistically, what's going to happen is you're going to find ones that are good and just have those. Find the 8 that you really works for your community, and make those the ones that that you'll do consistently.
Alright, then the last thing is, when does this happen? Is it Mondays because it's the start of the week, or is it that annoying day to do things on because everyone's busy on Monday? I always like Tuesdays as a day for things to happen because I'm always busy on Mondays.
Realistically, what we should do is just do it when we finish the stream.
When we finish the stream.
Yeah, like we say, this is the question of the day, and we announce it here, and then we post it in the chat. Like, don't you? Isn't that when you do it, and then that way you just do it every week, or do you, I mean, unless you think it's just better to do a different day, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I'm against that, and I'm not even sure why. I guess after the stream, I'm just knackered. I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to start engaging again for a different reason.
All right, well that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, probably making it Friday doesn't make sense too.
Yeah, that's Friday. Because I don't like doing stuff on the weekend. That's the thing. I don't want to interact. So, so, like Zilphia, you as well. Like, obviously, you're into the Discord quite frequently. Do you interact on the weekend? Do you prefer interacting in the week, right? And yeah, I guess I should ask others as well.
No, I think people, because if it's a fun thing and you keep it fun.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's not work, right? It's just a thing for people to, like, maybe for us it's a bit more like, feels like work engaging on Saturday, Sunday, but it shouldn't feel that way for your community, right? It's a fun thing. And when people have free time on the weekend, they should be like, oh, I'm going to talk to my friends on Avallen Discord.
That's true. So I just feel like people interact with Discords in the week anyway, and less people interact on the weekend. But that might just be because I interact during the week and not on the weekend, so I don't know what's happening on the weekend. There's introduction. I work from home and don't do much on weekends. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, I have time interacting on the weekends because I take care of my kid on the weekend, so that's that's the hard part. That's the hard part. I can't hop on
Alright.
Discord. So I'm like you. I interact during the week for that reason.
Okay. I'm leaning towards Tuesday and making it a topic of the week rather, as opposed to the day. But what do we call it?
Discord.
And also, if we do it on a Tuesday, we could talk about it on stream on a Thursday as well, if there's anything interesting happens.
Oh, that's true. Give us thing to talk about. Actually, what I'd really, I mean, you tell me if this makes sense, but is it possible to like basically make that part of your social media posting?
Yeah.
Like, hey, on your Discord, this is our blah blah blah. Join us at Discord to talk about this topic.
Yeah. That's I've.
You're ahead of me.
Yeah, I'm ahead of you. Yeah. So I've currently been posting more social media stuff. If people don't follow us on social media, you weren't missing out on much previously, but I've started a new trend and I'm posting 4 times a week now, which is 10,000 times more than previously. So I've been lucky, really. So what do we post? I post 2 pictures a week now and 2 streams a week. And I can do 2 streams a week because I post the most recent stream and then a flashback stream because we've had so many streams. I never posted our streams on social media, which is stupid, right? So now I am. So now posting flashback streams, the stream of the week, and then 2 pieces of images. This week I posted about the interviews that we were in. Last week I posted Pen Levy artwork and streams. And so that's 4 things a week, and then I was waiting for us to do this Discord community thing to be the 5th thing, and that's the 5th thing that I will post each week. I'll probably post it just as a question on Facebook and Blue Sky, and then mention the fact that we're having discussion in Discord as well. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it just gives you another thing to talk about and invites people to engage with the community. And then if we have some good comments and stuff, that could also be good content for the future, right? If something organically happens and we get someone's permission to share something funny, people like that stuff too.
So, does it have a name? It should have a name. I should introduce it as something. Just community questions, community activities. Avallen asks.
Avallen asks. Chrissy's good at this. At marketing names. Let's sit on it.
I'm gonna write some asks. Avallen asks community.
Say ask Chris. Put a note. Ask Chrissy too. Send a Discord message to Chrissy later, and she'll give her opinions.
Avallen community days. Yeah. Community days. Yeah. Like days. Asks. Yeah. Cool.
That I mean, Adderstone. I mean, if the Adderstone game stream and our Discord is Legend of Avallen. Adder chatter. You know what? I'm gonna leave that there for you. No. All right, you get.
Asks, and if it's Tuesdays, you could have, it's something Tuesdays like Talking Tuesdays, but that's obviously bad. But alliteration's good.
Mine rhymes Adder chatter.
Adder chatter, yeah.
The more I say it, the more you say, the more I like it. It's stupid.
Adder chatter. Yeah.
Avallen Community Day.
It would be Adder chatter Tuesdays. It has a kind of ring to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you could even do the thing where it's like if we had Chrissy make a logo for it, Adder chatter.
It doesn't need a logo, dude. Come on.
Community. Shut up, community. You get. Let me cook. Avallen. So it's like ASG or Avallen Discord Community Day. Anyway, consider it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, at the moment I'm sold on Adder Chatter Tuesdays because there's a load of rhyming and iteration there. I don't know. There's Adder, Chatter, and then the chaff of the Tuesdays is Tuesdays. Adder Chatter Tuesdays. Basically. And then we could do hashtag ACT. Yeah.
I like that. I'm sold on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hashtag act.
Oh yes, act. I didn't even realize it was a word, dude.
Yeah, your subconscious was way ahead of you. On
Oh
that,
no, it wasn't. It was just ACT. I just like those are nice letters. It's fine.
Yeah, you better act now.
But
Adder Chatter Tuesdays.
oh
All right,
god.
I think that is.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think that's officially the name. Adder
Yeah.
Chatter Tuesday win. Hashtag act.
Yeah.
All right, we have a WinRAR.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right, that's done then. So then, I guess next Tuesday you can expect the first Adder Chatter Tuesdays, and only a few of us will expect that, and everyone else will be blindsided by it. What should be the first one? I just
Have
do
you ever
something
killed a
simple.
man?
Have you ever killed
no.
I'll just do
That-
TTRPG campaign play, which is something simple, and then we'll start doing it.
Oh yeah, Zilphia, you agree? LMAO act is going strong.
Yeah, nice.
All right, I hope so.
Okay, cool. All right. And then that's pretty much everything I want to talk about stream. The last thing was the Borderlands, but we ain't going to touch that. So
Sure.
to recap, I don't know if we'll do this next week. I kind of want to do more work stuff on stream now because the past 5 weeks we've been going through all the location lore we've currently established for all of the clan lands.
Yeah.
We haven't done the Rexian Empire, and we haven't done the Borderlands. So there's still 2 more streams that we could do if we want to. And I might just keep that in our back pocket for the future. But I think next week I do want to just go on to finishing lore stuff for all these clans that we're writing.
That's fine me.
So hopefully next week we can talk about the Pen Levy, and I'm going to start working on the Penkawa, and we can talk about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Next
Okay.
Thursday, most likely, same deal. We might have another event next Thursday.
Okay.
So 10:30 or 10:30 my time. What time is that for you?
It was 1:30, yeah. So half an hour later than usual start time. Yeah. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that should be fine.
Well, I don't mind starting an hour later. I guess that's late for you though, isn't it? So.
No, but I don't have my gig the next day anymore, so it's just this stuff. So how about this?
Okay.
Let's say an hour later. Let's say, was it 2:00 your time?
Yeah,
That should be
yeah.
fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do it then. All right, that's good then. Nice, great stream. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Thank you, Zilphia. Thank you, Gerbo. Thank you, Vandervision. Thank you, Diggs. Thank you, Kurt. Thank you, Oh Majestic Wolf.
Majestic Wolf, look in the chat. If
Yeah.
you're watching on YouTube, join us live and talk about it. Be on the chat.
And if you're on
talk to
YouTube,
everyone.
leave a comment saying you made it this far. Say, hey, you made it. And if you have any ideas for Adder Chatter Tuesdays, we'd love to hear it. And
Yeah, we'd
I
love to
will
hear it.
also then, in the future on stream, if we do Adder Chatter Tuesdays, I'll mention it on stream. And then on the YouTube video, I'd always be happy for you guys to share your stuff there as well if you prefer posting on YouTube as opposed to Discord. That's all good.
Yeah,
We can have communities all over the place. Yeah, go on, go.
I'm gonna engage just on principle. I like saying Adder Chatter Tuesdays.
I know, right? It's fun. Yeah, Adder Chatter Tuesdays.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Zilphia. Awesome stream. Thank you, Zilphia. Excited to see where
Yeah.
things go. Well, now that we have Adder Chatter Tuesdays and
Yeah.
the Court of Riddles going, we got plenty of stream content coming up.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, gang. I was Kurt. This was Darren. As they say in the streets of South London, Booyakasha. Is that what you guys say?
Yep, that's
Is
said
that what they say?
sometimes. Yeah. All right, bye guys. Take care.
Guys.